is windy today, and so we are gonna say hello to the pigs quick. Hey pigs, we already fed them their food, so we're not gonna stick around too long. We're gonna let them eat, but we are gonna go into the forest. We've got our little basket here, and the other day I went for a walk in the woods and I found out that my lobster mushrooms are in season. So this time we're gonna go do a little foraging. We're gonna go hunt for some lobster mushrooms in the forest. And knife making, how you doing, buddy? Watched a couple of your videos. Fantastic content you got there. I love watching people make knives and stuff. I would love to get into some entry-level foraging at some point. Foraging, sorry. I got foraging on my mind. Derica, how you doing? We are going into the woods and we are looking for edible mushrooms. Now, we're not gonna pick these. These are variations of Rusula mushrooms, not considered edible, but these do get parasitized into lobster mushrooms, which is what we're hunting. We are hunting for some lobster mushrooms. We got our basket and we are going to peruse the forest looking for some edible shrooms. So it's already getting dark out, so we gotta stay vigilant and keep our eyes open in here. Lobster mushrooms are red and they do stand out. Lily, hi Lily. Don't you eat my mushrooms. Tommy, how you doing, buddy? How do you know if you're edible? So you have to identify them specifically. I know what lobster mushrooms look like, and I will teach you guys what they look like as well. And once you know how to identify a certain mushroom, a lobster mushroom is very easy to identify. So when I find us some, I will teach you, and then you could go find your own. They tend to grow in these kind of mixed forests, these mix of leafy and needly. They don't tend to grow in just needly forests or just leafy forests. They like the mixture. The problem is with pine trees and stuff, the needles can be a little acidic, and so that tends to stop them from growing. And on just birch forests, it tends to be too wet and they deteriorate too fast. And so we are gonna find ourselves some lobster mushrooms in here. I'm just scanning the forest floor as we walk. I mean, there's all sorts of mushrooms in here, but I am looking specifically for the red lobster mushroom, and I should have brought bug spray. I'm gonna be smacking my head the whole time, but that's okay. We are just on the hunt. I mean, there's some chaga over there. That's a birch tree, and that's some chaga, but that is not what we are here looking for. Jericho says, I like mushrooms when they are prepared properly. Lobster mushrooms, to me, have like a potato-y texture. So what I do is I slice them up, and maybe at the end of this live stream, because we are gonna find some, at the end of this live stream, I will show you guys how to cook them and eat them. I like to fry them up, well, let's start at the beginning. I like to cut them into thin slices after I wash them, and then I like to fry those with no oil, no butter, nothing. Just get the moisture out of them. And then once the moisture is out of them, I like to add a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, a little bit of seasoning salt, and just eat them like that. But we are gonna find them. We are going to find them. I know they are in here because on the main trail the other day I found some. So we just gotta look off the main trail. It'd be better if I was doing this in the daylight. It's hard to see anything, it's dark. But once my eyes catch the sight of one, they're gonna zone in and we're gonna find a lot. So anyway, I am just cruising the woods here, scanning back and forth along the forest floor. Ah, I see one. This right there, that red guy, that's a lobster mushroom. So let's go find it. Let's go check if, and now we gotta see, now we see one, we need to see if it's in good condition. So bear with me because we gotta do a little bushwhacking to get to it. All right. Let's do a little bushwhacking here. Okay, right here, guys. And in fact, we got a bunch of them here. So we got 3 lobster mushrooms all right here, 4. So a lobster mushroom, ooh, and guys, for anyone who has seen my YouTube content, you'll know that I have hunted ghost pipe flowers before. There is some ghost pipe flowers. That is a medicinal flower. It grows white. That's why it's called the ghost pipe. While it's facing down to the ground, it is still medicinally active. when it starts facing straight up to the sky, it is no longer medicinally active. I'm not gonna harvest it right now because I'm going after these guys. We are hunting for lobster mushrooms. So let's just zoom down and let me show you what we're dealing with. So we're gonna pick this guy. Ooh, so this guy's too far gone. You see that? That is all moldy and gross. So this guy, we are just going to set it back down and let the spores do what they're gonna do. But let's check this one under here. This one here is nice and firm. So you wanna have the red underside, orange on top, and then let's just break this one open to show you. It should break a piece off. It should be white on the inside. So that is a lobster mushroom. It's a small one, but that's the thing with lobster mushrooms is they can be hard to find because when they're sticking out of the ground like that, it's usually too far gone. But when they're hiding just below the surface, that's usually when they are ripe for the picking. So like this guy here, that one's a little mushy. Might be able to save that half. It's a little soft. We'll open it up. No, that looks good. As long as it's not brown on the inside, you can see it's a little dark right in the middle, but it's okay. So there we go. We're just gonna add that. I see another one hiding right there. Ugh, but that one looks too far gone as well. The top is squishy, but the bottom looks good. But I think the top is all, yeah, see the inside's all yellow. This one's too far gone. See how it's yellow and not white? This one, too far gone. Too far gone. So we've added some, but yeah, like I said, that's ghost pipe flower over there. What is it used for? The ghost pipes are used as an analgesic. They're kind of like a nerve blocker, and they help with anxiety. You have to make a tincture or an oil rub with it, but we're off to an okay start. We got to keep our eyes open and stay vigilant. I just about missed this one. This one's too far gone right there. But there's one maybe right here. It's a little soft as well. We've had a lot of rain the last couple days, and so the ones that have been exposed to the surface are a little bit too far gone. There is some fairy crown mushroom. I'm not going to pick it today because it's a small patch, but right there. And there's another mushroom hiding back there. But again, we are chasing specifically for these lobster mushrooms. So, at the very least, we got started, but we got to find some good specimens. We need to find some goodies. We're gonna walk along the trail first and just scanning the outskirts, and then if we're not doing too well on the hunt, we will go deeper into the woods. So for now, we'll just walk along the trail slowly as I look back and forth, and Lily goes zooming as we hunt for some mushrooms. I just gotta look deep into the woods. I mean, you walk past probably, okay, I see a bunch right here. So you walk past probably hundreds of them, not seeing them, because look, like it can be very hard to actually see them in this underbrush. This one, the outside here has been broken off, but this one feels good. We'll just take some of the dirt off. That one's gonna be good. This is the other half of it that somehow got broken off, and honestly, it's good. And so when you find one in an area, it's good to kind of look around because there's usually more. There's another piece of one. Something's been in here eating them. That one's too far gone. But we got to keep looking. What kind of snakes are in those woods? I pretty well only have garter snakes, the odd king snake, but I'm not worried about snakes. We don't have any poisonous snakes here. And I don't think I have any poisonous ivy in this area either. At least I've got stinging nettle. You got to watch out for stinging nettle. But so far poison ivy's been okay. Just need to keep walking slowly, looking at the ground. We are looking for that bright orange lobster mushrooms. So just kind of poke our head in a little bit into the forest. You know what? I think maybe we will come in here a little bit because this ground looks really good. Oh, it's hard to walk though. I still have a bum leg, so it's kind of hard to walk in this thicker stuff. But let's just get in here a little bit and see if we can see the mushrooms that we are hunting. I have yet to find any morels or chanterelles on my property, but I would be stoked if I found some. But I know we got lobster mushrooms and they are in season. We just need to find them. And find them we shall. Do, 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 do. We are walking, hunting for some mushrooms. Going a little bit crazy. That's okay. And never tried morels, would love to though. The one thing to watch with morels is the fumes when you cook them are actually toxic and you cannot eat them raw. They'll damage your kidneys. You have to cook them, but when you cook them, heat renders their toxins inert and they are safe to eat. We are currently hunting for lobster mushrooms. So that is what we are trying to find. Albeit the sun is setting. I'm doing this pretty late, so it's hard to see in the forest, but we are just cruising around looking in the underbrush for any glimpse of red. And it's always a good sign. So a lobster mushroom is actually a parasitized Russula mushroom, one of these guys, that has been taken over by another bacteria. So when I see those, I get excited because that tells me that I'm in the right area. I just need to look harder. Do, 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 do. Albeit the bush is quite thick in here. I might have to turn around and go closer to the trail where I can cover a little more ground faster. Backtrack a little bit through here looking for mushrooms. For anyone just joining the chat, we are out here mushroom foraging. We've got a few lobster mushrooms here, but we want to try to fill a basket. We don't want to go for just like a little snack. We want the whole meal. And so we are in the woods, circling back, trying to find a glimpse of that red candy. And TH Outdoors says, I found some morel mushrooms last year. And Derico says, is it easy to get lost in the woods? I have very good nature sense. So for most people, I'm gonna say yes, very easy to get lost in the woods. But I don't know. I've been lost in the woods. I've gotten myself lost in the woods, but I kind of have a good idea where I'm going. Right now, I'm kind of backtracking through the forest adjacent to the trail, looking for these dang mushrooms, and I'm not seeing any in here. I'm also trying to take the path of least resistance. And of course, Lily's running around me, so I know I'll never get lost with Lily girl. Hi, Lily. Hi, Lily. You gonna keep me safe? Or are you gonna get us both lost? Oh, so much bushwhacking. So much bushwhacking. We haven't found one in a while because the ground is too firm over here. We need to find some softer ground. Ba 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 ba. I'm just kind of looking around. You gotta always keep your head on a swivel if you're gonna find these mushrooms. Oh, the bush is so thick. And I mean, I'm seeing lots of other mushrooms like this guy, but they're not necessarily the edible variety. And Falcon says, looks like Bigfoot country. It absolutely is. Welcome to Northern Canada. Me and Bigfoot hang out every Tuesday. He's my homeboy. He likes to be called Earl. I don't know if I should tell you that or not. If I were a mushroom, where would I be? I'd be in this thick stuff where no one could see. Come on, come on. And don't run into a moose. Oh, I'm not too worried about moose. There may be moose on the property. I haven't seen one yet, but I've seen them close to the property. And so if they're close, they could be here. But whatever this guy is very far gone, this mushroom. That guy is very rotten. It looks like an old scaber bolete. Very well could be an old bolete. But we are getting colder and colder looking for these mushrooms. Not temperature-wise, I mean finding them. We were off to a good start. We haven't seen one in a little while. That is all part of mushroom hunting though. We circled back to the trail and we're gonna walk down the trail a little more and see if we can find any easier ones, because that bush was getting a little too thick. And so they do like a combination of moisture. So usually when you cut trails like this, you tend to find a little more mushrooms along the trails. A, it's easier to cover more ground. Look at this big guy. Look at that big guy. And B, you're opening it up to a little more moisture. And mushrooms are the fruit of the mycelium, and fruit likes moisture. So we just need to walk slowly along here, looking back and forth. Again, the lobster mushroom, when it's good, barely sticks out of the surface. And so you really got to keep your eyes open, looking for that glint of red. You know, orange, but orange red. And if I get too far down this trail, we get into more cedars. And the cedars are just a little bit too acidic for lobster mushrooms. They don't tend to grow down there. Hi, Lily. Zoom. Rather run into a moose than a Wendigo. I would agree with that. I heard some coyotes howling north of my property yesterday. So I'd rather not run into those guys down here either, but at least we got Lily keeping us safe. Isn't that right, Lily? We're just scanning back and forth. Back and forth. Looking for mushrooms. There's a whole bunch of coral mushrooms. I need to better identify them later. But these are all coral mushrooms. Whole whack of them. Some coral mushrooms are edible. These ones probably are, but I need to look into it further. I can't just pick them without confirming which ones they are. To confirm which ones they are, you take some pictures. Take pictures of their grouping, the land they're in, make some notes about, like, you know, around birch trees, on deadwood, on the ground. Sometimes that's a big difference. Sometimes in the mushroom world, the difference between a poisonous mushroom and an edible mushroom is simply whether it's growing off of a dead tree or growing out of the soil. And so you got to pay attention to all those little details. You got to do your cross references in your local foraging books, because sometimes mushrooms can be poisonous in one area but edible in another. It's a vast world out here. And Falcon says, do you know what First Nation is local to that area? I absolutely do, but I can't tell you, because if I told you, I'd be telling you where I live. At least I'd be getting you too close. I like to have some anonymity up here in northern Canada. The problem is I live in an area where there's basically no people. And so if I told you kind of the area I live in, it wouldn't be too hard to locate my exact location. And I don't want people randomly showing up at my place. Stranger danger, stranger danger. It's all good, man. No worries. It was a good question. It was a good question. I cannot believe I haven't found another lobster mushroom since the beginning of the trail. I see lots of mushrooms. Don't get me wrong. There are mushrooms in here, but not the ones we're looking for. But again, I could have walked past 1,000 of them without ever knowing. They barely stick out of the surface, and also the sun is setting, so it is getting darker and harder to see in here. We're not going home empty-handed. We got some, but I'd like to, you know, partially fill this dang basket. And Falcon says, I live in Tasmania, so you are safe from me. And Compa Ray says, hello, brother. Hello, friend. We are out here foraging for some mushrooms. We've got some lobster mushrooms in the basket, but now we're getting too far. We're getting into the cedar trees. We'll walk down to the end of the trail here, but I don't believe that the lobster mushrooms like cedar trees. I don't think they grow well over here. But let's see if I am wrong. Let's keep going down here and see if I am wrong. And Compa says, yo, double tap the screen and hit subscribe, or I'm jumping through the screen with snacks and moving in with you. Oh, snap. Guys, double tap the screen, give the live stream a like. Otherwise, you're going to have a new roommate, Compa Ray. Although they are very pleasant, you don't need a mooch. So double tap that screen. Otherwise, she's going to pull the ring on you. You're going to be watching a movie and she's going to climb out of your TV. And Falcon says, done and done, Compa. You are safe to live another day, friend. Thank you. And if you have any questions, let me know. This is actually, we're all on my property here. We haven't left my property. I have 156 acres. We are off grid. I have a homestead. You know what my cow did earlier, guys? I'm gonna switch you around so you can see me. My cow I let my cow out into one of my other fields today. And when my wife was giving some treats to the goats, my cow came running over and she tried to jump over my gate, but my gate's 4 feet tall and she got stuck halfway over it. And she was having a hard time breathing because she was stuck. So my wife came calling for me. So I had to go out there and lift my freaking 900-pound cow up and off the gate so that she wouldn't die. I honestly think that if I wasn't there to save her, she could have died. She was wedged taco style over the rail and she could not move. She couldn't get up. She couldn't go down. I mean, we are seeing some mushrooms right there. Looks like a bolete, which is edible, but not what we're looking for. How are the mosquitoes? The mosquitoes actually aren't too bad. The black flies have been buzzing around my head. The mosquitoes aren't too bad right now. It's kind of muggy. It feels like it's about to rain. I just think they haven't found me yet. Falcon says, I reckon they are feeling pretty happy. And Freshly says, nice humid weather. Yeah, it's kind of yucky, but I'll take it over mosquitoes. I think we got to turn back and go the other way if we're going to find more of these lobster mushrooms, because this cedar area is just no bueno. Lily, Lily, come on, Lil. Come on, Lily. Come on, Lily. Lily, let's go back. Come on, Lil, I'm going this way. Zoom, vroom. Hi, Lily. You stay close. You need to keep me safe. It's getting dark and I'm getting scared, girl. Don't leave me alone in the woods. I don't want to get eaten by Bigfoot. And Freshly says, hello, Justin and everyone. Please click that like button. Thank you, Freshly, for the encouragement in the crowd. We are just cruising down the trail here, scanning for some mushrooms. Like I said, we are targeting the lobster mushroom, but we've only found a few. We need to find more. I need to feed my family. My wife and my kids can't eat without these mushrooms. And Compa says, oof, that cow's heavy, man. Take care of yourself. Don't go over there trying to lift something like that unless you are ready to meet your chiropractor. You know what my thought is, guys? I already have to have surgery on my back at the end of the month, so why not do a little more damage and give him something to fix? If he's already got to operate, who cares if I hurt it more? And Curmudgeon, how you doing, buddy? I am looking forward to that 3 p.m. Alaska time live stream tomorrow. Guys, make sure to check out Curmudgeon. He is doing a live stream tomorrow. And where I do my live streams a little bit fly by night, they have a huge following, an awesome community. And so they've got theirs more scheduled. And I encourage everyone to go check it out. I will be there from my office tuning in. So guys, I encourage you to go check out their live stream. And Kermudge says, I am trying to find some boletes, but I have not seen any of the good ones in my area. There are some scaber boletes in here. There are some king boletes. Right now we are hunting for lobster mushrooms. The problem with the boletes is there's like, I think it's like 5 to 10% of people can get sick from scaber boletes. Otherwise, they're inherently safe. And my wife is one of those people who gets sick. She gets a very upset stomach when we have scaber boletes. And so I can eat them just fine. Her, not so much. So if I'm surviving alone, I'm gonna eat all the boletes. But when my wife's home, I'll just stick to the lobster mushrooms, the chanterelles, the morels, the puffballs, the puff daddies, and the P Diddies. All those fun mushrooms. And Colma says, how far out are you? I'm still on my property here. I mean, it's a peninsula, so it's kind of hard to leave, short of going for a swim. But we're not far. We're not that far. Once I get about 500 yards, 600 yards in, it switches to cedar trees. And it's not as good for a lot of the edible varieties I'm chasing for. So we turned around. So we're probably only about 300 yards in right now on our way back, looking for these lobster mushrooms, scanning the ground underneath the leaves, into the tree line. And Curmudgeon says, everyone told me that the scabers are bad. I have not tried them. I'll have to try them. Not much bothers me. I like them. They're edible. They are edible just like the other boletes. They're not as good as a king bolete, but you know, they've got that portobello mushroomy flavor. Over here, I need to look at these ones, but I believe these are all, maybe fairy crown mushrooms, and these are edible. It's hard to get it. The light is so dark right now. But I'm not going to pick them right now because I want to do a better identification. But yeah, there's a whole whack of them here. Whole whack of them right there. But we are looking for the red, juicy goodness that is lobster mushrooms. I picked some of the easier ones that were directly on the trail the other day. So we got to find some of the harder ones that are in the bush a little more. And Falcon says, the psilocybe. I may or may not have some psilocybin mushrooms growing in my cow patties. I personally don't partake in hallucinogenic mushrooms, but one that I have growing all over the property in about another month is Amanita muscaria. That is the Mario mushroom. That is the Santa Claus mushroom. That is the mushroom that will get you high and is still legal. I do not consume it, but I like to know about it. It's fun. And its cousin mushroom is the destroying angel. And I have found a couple destroying angels on my property. Destroying angels, they are a white mushroom with kind of white warts on the top of them, white underside, white stalk, and one mushroom is enough to kill a grown man. And you think, how does a mushroom kill you? that can't be. It destroys your kidneys and liver. It causes them to shut down and you go into dialysis. And honestly, it's like a mushroom is enough to kill you. Just a fun little fact. The way I look at mushrooms, I have a theory. Mushrooms, their goal is to reproduce and feed nutrients back to the mycelium. And so mushrooms either want you to eat them, so you poop out their spores, and while you're eating them, you know, you're inherently spreading the spores. Or B, they want you to eat them so you die, and they, you know, get to eat your body. They get your nutrients back into the ground. So you gotta watch. Mushrooms either want to kill you or let you eat and spread and poop. It is getting dark in here, so dark, so put on all your clothes. It is getting so dark, I gotta put more clothes on. That's my rendition. Okay, we gotta look a little harder in this freaking pitch black area because this is where we were finding a bunch of them earlier. So let's do a little bit more combing through here. It's getting so dang dark though. Why did I decide to forage at night, guys? Who forages at nighttime? And let me catch up with you guys. Kermudge says, I did find a pepper bolete at a friend's place the last time into town. And Compa says, do you have any wild hogs? No, it's too cold up here. Wild hogs won't survive. I only have the hogs that I raise myself. And Compa says, which mushrooms are known to cause hallucinations? Asking for a friend. Psilocybin cubanus, Amanita muscaria. There are two popular ones for you. The psilocybin cubanus ones grow in cow patties almost always because I guess it's in the hay and in the wheat and stuff, and it loves the nutrition. We got to turn a flashlight on here if we're going to do any luck in here. Let's turn on a light and see if we can see anything. Oh, we found, what is this? Is this a bone? This is a big animal bone right here. This is a big hunk of something's bone. And Kermudge says, we have them all over the place by us. I do not use them, but I know people microdose and it helps with memory issues. And if you cook them proper, they are delicious. Let's get to 20 likes. Guys, double tap your screen and sub. Fresh says, nice job. Compass says, thumbs up. And Falcon says, it's amazing how our ancestors discovered the difference between poisonous ones and edible. I think the ancestors that discovered the poisonous ones are not our ancestors. I don't think they lived that long. That's a very aggressive trial by error. This is the ghost pipe over here. So we got some ghost pipe flowers. This is not a mushroom. This white flower is actually a flower. It gets its nutrients. Hey, there's one right here. But it looks bad. Oh, it's not fully parasitized yet. That's a Rusula mushroom that was going to be parasitized, but it didn't work. Didn't turn into a lobster. No bueno. But the ghost pipe, it actually gets its nutrients from the mycelium. It doesn't get its nutrients from the sun. It's a rare flower. Come on, baby, let's find some mushrooms in here. We're in the right area. We're in the woods. We're exploring the forest floor. It's just so dang dark. What is this? Did we find one? I think we found one, but it looks far gone. So this one here, we found one. We found a lobster mushroom, but it is way too far gone. It's mushy, it's soggy, and it's kind of brown on the inside. Ugh, smelly. But if we found one here, we might be able to find another one right behind it. Also mushy. Too mushy. Dang it. We need to find, is there a third one? There's 3 and 4 right there. Right there. That's a good one. That's a perfect one right there. Perfect. And that one looks good too. Perfect. Oh, this one's been chewed on by a freaking chipmunk, man. We're gonna risk it for the biscuit, boys. We're gonna cut that off, and we are going to turn into a were chipmunk. Parasites, barasites. Who said anything about getting sick eating mushrooms? We'll add them to the bag. We're doing okay now. We found a few. We're in the right area. We're gonna keep walking around here. We're gonna look around and see if we can find some more. The key. I'd turn you guys around and face me, but it's probably pitch black and you probably can't see me. I'll face the light. So the thing about mushroom foraging is when you find one, you'll probably find more. How was that? I'm blinded by the light now. Blinded by the light. Looking for mushrooms. Trying not to get eaten by Sasquatch at night. Okay. We are on the hunt, boys. We are on the hunt. Some tribes say that the spirits told them. And Curmudgeon says, have to run. Take care, man. And Fresh says, Blair Witch vibes. What's the flavor profile? These guys, honestly, they've kind of got that lobstery, that fishy kind of smell to them, like in a good way. You know, think like cooked lobster. But I consider them kind of like a potato. They really just kind of taste like a buttery potato. Okay. I feel like we're getting further from the truth in here. We need to circle back. Circle back. We're just kind of scanning back and forth, looking for that orange red color, just barely sticking out of the surface. If it's already showing its ugly face, it is probably too late. It's probably already starting to go bad. But if you catch it at just the right moment, it's pretty dang good. It's a good mushroom. So we found some over here by this tree. You know, right there. There was the one we found. But, oh boy. Just need to keep kind of perusing and looking at the ground. We're looking at the slightest hint of orange, and it is so easy to miss them, especially in the pitch black like this. But once you find one, you got to look around because you'll probably find more than one. And Fresh says, how do you prepare or pair the mushroom with? Honestly, I eat these guys as a side dish on their own. I like to just dice them up. If you check out my channel, you'll find, you know what? Recently I posted a YouTube short about these lobster mushrooms, and I linked to a more detailed version where I show you exactly how I cook them. They're really easy. They're really good. Ba 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 ba. Oh, we are on the hunt. Fun fact: mushrooms communicate between amongst the mycelium network. Yes, mushrooms are just the blueberries of the mycelium. They are just the fruit of the plant. The mycelium lives below the surface of the ground. And the mushrooms are the fruiting body. So it's like we're picking strawberries. Big edible strawberries. Except we're running out of light, so I think we're gonna bring these little bit that we got, we're gonna bring these back to the house and we're gonna prepare them. I'll look a little more while I walk out of my trail, but otherwise we gotta get back into some light. I am also sweating right now because I'm wearing a full jacket to keep the bugs off of me. But it's like 25 degrees out here and humid. So I am sweating. Just trying to see if I see any last minute ones before we go in. Poke my head over here. A little bit too much brush on the ground over here. What do lobster mushrooms taste like? They have a slight lobstery flavor, but more so I would say they taste like a potato. They've got that firm potato texture, and yeah, they just kind of fry up nice in butter. You could add a little bit of whatever you want to flavor them even further. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of pepper. I think we're gonna come out up on this trailhead here. Just on the other side of the pigs. Back into the light. Oh, into the tall grass. Oh boy. Oh boy, this has really grown in lately. This was not the shortcut I thought it was gonna be. Thought I was taking a shortcut. Oh, the pigs are down in there. I don't want to go down there. We'll try to get out through here, I guess. Bushwhacking. Bushwhacking. Oh boy, this is thick. It's so thick. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, all the spiders in my ears. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. Okay, we are back. We're back. We're back. So we didn't get a very big harvest here, but we got some. We got some mushrooms. Oh, we're gonna go prepare these. I'm gonna show you guys how I prepare these. Oh. Hi, pigs. And what do chicken of the woods taste like? I want to say probably a little bit like chicken of the woods. Hey, look at this, guys. This was an unexpected surprise. Let's see if it's good. This is a puffball mushroom. So this right here is an edible puffball, but it has to be white on the inside. Oh boy, we're having a hard time cutting it open, but it doesn't look, it's too wet. It probably was on the edible side, but it's too mushy. It's a little too wet. Too wet. These are also what, like as a kid, you'd kind of call a stink bomb. They turn brown, and when you squeeze them, they go poof. But that's a puffball, which is edible. As long as the inside is white, she's good to go. Interesting that I found that just chilling in the lawn. But that is a puffball. Not to be confused with this guy. This guy has a stem. Looks like a puffball. Not a puffball. Got to be careful. The puffball, edible. That thing might have killed me. And Freshly says, I need mushrooms in my life. And Falcon says, I always imagine the Canadian forests to be relatively clear pine forests. We got pine, birch, poplar, cedar, a lot of coniferous. Like you got balsam fir. Oh boy, let's walk us back this way towards the house here. Okay, let us go inside to prepare these little mushrooms. I wish I would have found more, but the sun is setting too fast. I'm gonna turn on the Starlink, so if I lose you guys. Okay, let's just take some of the branches out of here. And let's go see what we're left with. Hi, Honey Bear. Yes, I am still live streaming, but the sun is already setting. I did get some mushrooms though. So, allez oop. Mushrooms. Okay, let me take my jacket off because I'm literally sweating here, guys. Matthew, how you doing, buddy? Okay, bear with me, guys. Oh. Let me drop you guys down. Clean up that camera lens. And here, 1 second. I'm just gonna switch shirts quickly. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry. I had to switch some shirts for a second. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. And Peter says, glad that the boys and the wife are all home safe and sound. And Falcon says, you got a pup? Yeah, didn't you see Lily? She was running around in the woods. I'm just putting on a shirt. It was getting a little too hot out there. I had to switch. I was getting sweaty. Okay, good enough. We got a few of the buttons on. Let's flip you guys around. Okay, hi guys. Hello, welcome back.
Hi, Justin.
Yes.
You gotta see this. This is great. Here.
What?
You gotta see a spider. Here.
Apparently we gotta go see
We
gotta go see a spider.
I'm gonna show it to you, and then you can. I don't want to be showing you right now.
Yeah, I'm not showing you right now. I want to see a spider that you're telling me I gotta see. Yeah, that's gross.
Crazy, eh? You can't see it very well on your camera.
I know. I gotta try to get that. You're turning to take your flashlight off. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right about. Why can't I see you? Why can't I see you? Where am I looking? Oh, I'm way too close. I'm zoomed like through it. I cannot see the spider very well.
Anyways, it looks like it's one of those orb weaver things.
Looks like it's got a sack full, a belly full of eggs. Oh, anyway, sorry guys. The crew came home on Sunday. So, yes, we just went out foraging and we got ourselves a few lobster mushrooms, but the sun is setting so dang fast out there that we started a little late. But let's kind of wash these up quick. Just give them a quick rinse. Get some of the dirt off. We're gonna cut off most of the dirt, but I like to give them a little rinse. Get some of the loose dirt off. Set them aside. We'll get a better look at them once we carve into them. And a little butter, salt, and pepper like the 90s, exactly. Exactly. So these are all called lobster mushrooms. They're very easy to identify. They're gonna have an orange on the top, orange on the bottom. It's like an orange to dark orange, like an orange red. White on the inside. You want them to be firm like a potato. You don't want them to be soft. If they're soft, they're just too far gone. And if the underside is not red or orange yet, they're not ready. So if you pick one and it's not orange on the underside, it doesn't mean it's not a lobster mushroom, but it means it hasn't fully parasitized the parent mushroom. And so we consider it not edible. It's not ripe yet. Okay, so we're not gonna get all the dirt off by doing this quick rinse. We gotta cut most of the dirt off. So we're just gonna take this over to the cutting board. And I like to use my fillet knife. Let's go with the fillet knife. Let's give this cutting board just a quick wipe down. And so let's start with this guy. So we take this lobster mushroom, like this. We're just gonna carve off some of the dirtier bits, the outer bits. Just carve that off. And you want it to be nice and white on the inside. See how white that is? That's how you know it's still very, very fresh. A little bit of browning's not gonna kill you, but you want it to be white. And we'll take some of this stuff off out here. Okay. A little bit of dirt is kind of just par for the course. If there's a little bit of dirt on there, what doesn't hurt you ain't gonna kill you. Little one says, anyone know the war between Ohio and Michigan? There's a place called Toledo, Ohio, USA, a real life twilight zone. And Peter says, do you have a water boiler? If so, before winter, might drain it to help it last longer overall. I have hot water on demand. So I'm using a hot water on demand system. I have to descale it like once a month because our water is hard. So what I do here is I just carve this into relatively thin slices like so. And just make sure it's white on the inside. And we're gonna set this aside. And you gotta watch for bugs. Lobster mushrooms usually don't have any worms in them, but you do wanna watch for any worms. Mushrooms do tend to get some bugs in them at times. So we're just gonna cut this into thin slices, do a quick inspection. If you don't wanna eat kind of the dirtier parts, you can just carve that away. And we're just gonna kind of cut this into like these little potato chips. And that's what we're gonna fry up. They have to be dense. Yes, they wanna feel like a potato. You don't want them to be soft. They've got kind of that firm potato feel to them. And like I said, if you're really squirmish about eating a little bit of dirt, just cut that away. Honestly, I'm not that concerned about just a hair of dirt in there. And just carve it a little bit soft right there, but you can just cut that out. Just cut out that little soft part and we are good. Some lobster mushroom. This one even looks like a lobster. You can use a toothbrush to get that dirt off. Yeah, or you could just eat it. As my wife's grandma used to say, a peck of dirt is good for you. Everyone should eat a peck of dirt. Hun, how much is a peck of dirt?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And we'll try to get one more slice out of that. Just like that. This one here, it's a little bit soft at the top here. You can see right here, it's a little squishy, so we're just gonna cut that out. It bruises to your touch a little bit, so that's normal. A little bit of bruising as you're touching it, that's normal. Okay, so we're gonna take this mushroom, and we're gonna do a little micro batch on the stream here. I'll prepare the rest of them after the stream, but we are going to just fry these ones up, and I'll show you the exact process. So I'm just gonna grab a small frying pan, one that I can lay them out evenly on. And Peter says, are you guys going to grow mushrooms in a separate building one of these days? I know a lot of people grow lion's mane. It's a very easy one to grow. That is not off the table. Right now we've got too many other things to focus on, but that is not off the table. So to cook lobster mushrooms, we're just going to throw our frying pan on. Oh boy, get that heat on there, medium high. And we're just gonna put the mushrooms directly onto here. So let me grab these slices. Okay, so these slices are just gonna go right onto the pan. And we're just gonna spread them out evenly. Okay, and then we're gonna grab a spatula, a flipper, and we just want to move them around. We just want to keep them moving so we don't burn them. What we're going to do here is we're going to evaporate out any of the excess moisture that is in the mushroom. We can turn that down a hair. And how's your back doing today? Hoping you took it easy. My leg's really sore. I'll probably have to take some nerve blockers to go to sleep, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. And Falcon says, wonder what they are like dried. So, oh boy, we gotta turn that up a hair. If you cut them a little bit thinner yet than these, so I find lobster mushrooms don't shrink as much as a lot of other mushrooms. A lot of other mushrooms that are less dense shrink down to almost nothing. Like if you take a chanterelle and cut it like this, it's gonna be a quarter the size. So this whole thing would shrink down to like nothing. These, it's a little harder to get them like crispy because they're so dense. They don't hold as much water as other mushrooms. But we didn't add anything to the pan. We're just frying them as is, and the moisture is going to fry out of them. And they're going to go to golden brown as we do this. And once we stop hearing that moisture sizzle, we are then going to add a little bit of oil and butter, and it's going to reabsorb that. Oh, and a little bit of salt. And maybe don't drop it into the flame. Yoink. Maybe don't do that. And do you make homemade beef jerky? Yes, I used to make a ton of it. My wife actually made the last batch. We make deer jerky and beef jerky fairly often. And Matthew says, you missed my comment. They also have no gills. Matthew said. Well, yes, lobster mushrooms have no gills. They are just, as we showed them, here, I'll show you a fresh one as we're cooking this one. So this is what we are cooking, a lobster mushroom. So it's firm like a potato and no gills. It is solid. The base of it is connected directly to the stalk. It's a low profile mushroom. It doesn't grow up out of the ground. It rides along the surface of the ground. So this is what we are frying up here. We want to just keep these moving. We're just letting the moisture evaporate out. And we just want to keep it moving. It smells really good. Like it's got like a mix between a potato and a lobster. As I'm sitting here smelling it, really nice. And just a reminder, if you're doing morels, you don't want to be breathing in these fumes. You want to have your hood vent on, window open. The fumes on morels are toxic. They're bad for you. You don't want to breathe them in. And it's not like a toxic you're going to feel bad later. It's like a toxic like it's damaging your organs. So don't do it, guys. These guys, inherently safe. You're going to see how they're going a little more golden brown as we're frying them up here. We're going to turn that temperature actually down just a hair because we want to evaporate that moisture out of here. Keep them dancing, keep them moving. Yeah, we just want to keep them moving, keep them sizzling. Once they stop sizzling, we are ready to rehydrate them. So once they stop sizzling, we are ready to add in some oil and some butter. This is a cooking live stream. It's always good when you can do a catch and cook. In this case, foraging. So we're getting there, we're getting close. We're going to take them off the heat for a second, and we're going to get our seasoning salts and we're going to get our seasoning salt and our butter ready. I think we are just going to go with a buttery herb and garlic all-purpose seasoned salt. Really nice flavor. Shake that up. Make sure there's no clumps in there. We are also now going to, you know what? You could use butter. In this case, I'm going to use a dash of olive oil to rehydrate these. Let's get this back on heat. You can kind of pick your poison. If you prefer butter, you don't want that olivey flavor, go with butter. But I kind of like that olive oil flavor. So we're just going to keep this going on medium-high heat. They're almost dried out. Still sizzling a little bit. Everything tastes good with butter. I really, you know, if I shoot a bear this fall, if I do end up hunting a bear or seeing one on the road, I would love to get a fall bear for some lard. We do a lot of our cooking with lard. So now that they're basically done sizzling under heat, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil here, just a splash there. And we're gonna rehydrate these and fry them up in that olive oil. So let's just keep them dancing, keep them on that heat. Very nice indeed. He's a scholar and a chef. Only when it comes to certain things. My wife is the real champion of our kitchen. She is the expert chef. But I like me the odd fish and chips or mushrooms. Honestly, guys, I had to stop cooking steaks because my wife does it better every time. She is the real master chef. Honestly, she'd probably do this better than me too, but, you know, here we are. We're going to add a little bit of this seasoning salt while we're doing this. We don't want to go overboard with it, but, you know, whatever tastes good. Seasoned to flavor. Nice. 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 And now we're just going to keep that dancing and heat. Get that nice and fried. And I wish I had a playback so I could show you, but they are shrinking. They have gotten a lot smaller than they were. I mean, we're talking a mushroom this size is now these little slices. Like this right here is almost a whole mushroom. So as you cook it, as you fry it up, it continues to get a little smaller. Let's just keep that moving, keep that moving. We want it to crisp up a little bit. At this point, it's to preference. Once they're golden brown like this, they are edible and good to go. But we want to get it a little crispier. A little crispier. And Derico says, black or brown bear? In my area, we primarily have black bears. Fun fact, black bears can be brown, but still be black bears. It could still be the genus of black bear, but have brown or red. We even have red colored black bears. Of course, you can have albino, so you can have a white black bear. That is not impossible. And Falcon says, old bears would be big and fat by now. If you're asking which one I would hunt, black bears is what we got in my area. Okay, we're going to turn the heat off. And then, personal preference here, guys. I like to personally put these on paper towel to absorb the excess oil, and then add a little extra seasoning back onto them afterwards. So we're just going to grab a plate here. We're going to grab some paper towel. Grabbing some paper towel. And we are just going to set this right here. And so then I like to add these onto the paper towel. Try not to get too much of that oil on there. Set that aside. And then we're going to just fold this over, pat it dry, open it back up. We can add a little more seasoning back to it.
Did you check the freezer while you were?
You know what? I didn't, but I will before I go to bed. I can go out. And there you go, guys. Right here. We have like a potato chip of mushroom. It's just like a buttery potato. I don't know how else to explain it. It is fantastic. And do you ever watch Steve on Meat Eater? Steve Ranella is a legend. He is one of my favorite people to watch. Just a down-to-earth, good soul with a lot of knowledge. I wish I could share. I wish I could give some of this to you. It makes for a fantastic treat. Now, if you harvest some of these mushrooms like this, and you're not ready to prepare them or eat them tonight, you got a day or two that if you leave them in the fridge, cover them with just a piece of paper towel. And what I like to do is cut them in half just once to make sure there's no insects in them, no bugs. And if they are good like this, then I just put them in a bowl in the fridge, leave them in there. And so that's probably what I'll do with the rest of them. I'll save the rest for tomorrow so that I can eat them with my kids. But yeah, we just made some mushroom chips. They're delicious, easy to eat, easy to cook, fantastic. And Matthew says, be careful with the oily paper towel. It can start a spontaneous combustion. Good to know. And I always freeze my bacon grease after cooking it to use it with my other meals. I used to do that, save it in a tin can, but I don't know, I don't tend to be as resourceful nowadays, I guess. Peter says, Derico, yes. And Derico says, yummy, Derico, yes, they are. Doubt they are in Canada. You're thinking Alaska. What are we thinking? Polar bears are probably the deadliest. Yeah, we don't have any polar bears down here. Got to go a little further north. And Falcon says, I heard they taste good after eating blueberries. Blueberry, Jerry? Lobster mushrooms. So you just missed the cooking episode, but we just fried up some lobster mushroom. And yes, I have heard that bears after eating blueberries are delicious, but for my area, the bear hunt doesn't start until like October, and usually that's far after blueberry season, so it's kind of hard to hunt them right after blueberry season. Delicious, guys. Hi, honey. Okay. Well. And love mushrooms on my pizza, says Peter. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, you should tell them the story about when I made a pizza with wild mushrooms on it.
What happened?
I ended up with food poisoning because
Was that
I'm allergic to boletes, and they were boletes. So bad.
Yeah.
I'll never forget choosing that.
I mentioned to people earlier, I forgot it was on mushrooms, or on pizza. So there's a type of mushroom, a family of mushroom called the bolete. And
5%.
pretty well every mushroom in the bolete family. So a bolete is a rounded top with a spongy bottom, no gills, but a sponge, and then a stalk. Pretty well all of them are edible. They are the only one that's not edible, that's poisonous. It's like red on the top, red on the underside, and a red stalk. Red, red, red equals dead. But the family itself is primarily edible, but there's about 5 to 10% of people who are allergic to them. And my wife is one of them. I fed her some boletes one time. She made a pizza with it, and she was puking her guts out. So, yeah, I generally don't bring boletes home anymore. I've eaten them since then. I eat them, but I don't bring them home for the wife. And Darren, how you doing, buddy? You just missed a little bit of a forage. We went and found some lobster mushrooms, brought them home, and we just fried them up and we ate them, and they were delicious. Got a few extras here that we'll save for tomorrow so I can feed them to my kids. But that's kind of the gist of it. It's late, guys, and so I'm going to end the live stream, but let's give ourselves an easier time picking a thumbnail. We're gonna go like this. Now we can make the thumbnail easy. See how it's done? And so I'm gonna let you guys go. We're gonna end this stream early. We just kept it chill. And Peter says, I see the facial hair store in the comeback. My wife was getting mad at me for not shaving it today.
To be clear, can they hear me or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so to be clear, everybody, I loved his beard so much. He shaved it without warning or without telling me, and I love him no matter what. He's very handsome. I just adore him. However, this, when he grew his beard, it took probably an entire year until it started looking good. So I'm kind of like, figure out what you're doing, either keep it shaved or
That was
grow a
9
beard.
years ago.
And why would you start growing a beard better now?
Because it's been 9 years. I'm more of a man. I've got more muscles. I've been eating my spinach. I am like Popeye.
Don't eat your spinach. You're terrible at eating vegetables.
Yeah, I know. I ate a lot of meat though. Anyway.
Just so to be clear, I'm not just nagging him on the scruff.
And Derico says, lobster mushrooms contain around 15 to 20 calories, 1.5 to 2 grams of protein, 0.5 to 1 gram of sugar, and 1 to 2 grams of fiber. They taste delicious. As long as you don't go overboard frying them up in a pound of butter, they're pretty good for you.
You should also tell people always your first time having any wild mushroom, just have a little bit, because you never know what you're allergic to. Even if it's a completely safe mushroom, start with just a little bit. If you don't react to it, then go hard next time.
Yeah, and I follow a general rule: never eat a mushroom raw. You don't know what kind of cross-contamination, and some mushrooms are inherently toxic. I believe actually portobello's, like the store-bought mushroom, the white cap mushroom you always get, is actually toxic.
What are you talking about? I eat those raw all the time.
I'm gonna re-educate you later. We're gonna go over that. But
You can put them in salads. You can get them on a salad.
you're supposed to cook them. I know.
You can get them on salads at restaurants.
Paul Steinmetz, who is a mushroom expert, says that big mushroom's gonna kill him for telling people you're not allowed to eat them raw. Look it up. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. We're gonna end this stream. Thanks for joining me. We went out, we found some mushrooms, we picked them, harvested them, hunted them, and brought them in here, cleaned them up, cooked them up, ate them, and it was awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. And we're just gonna end her a little early here. It's late, and I wanna go to bed. So thank you guys, and we will chat again later. Thanks for joining, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you guys as always.